Meanwhile, a Mexican woman in the U.S. illegally is being charged with faking her own ICE kidnapping. She claims she was forcefully abducted, but surveillance video told a very different story. The woman does not appear to be in distress when the alleged incident occurred. Investigators say she orchestrated the whole thing to get money and sympathy. So what is she facing now? Let's discuss this with former ICE senior attorney John Gihon. Thank you so much for being here, John. You hear this case and your first thought as to what this does for ICE in general, maybe perhaps the danger it puts ICE agents in, and whether or not you've seen anything like this before.
Thanks for having me, Brian. This is a really terrible situation. What's going on out there right now is already scaring individuals, both citizens and non-citizens, because of all of the ICE enforcement actions. When you have an individual who fakes a kidnapping and pretends to be taken by ICE and disappeared somewhere, or people pretending to be ICE, it just puts even more fear into everyone else. And she's being prosecuted federally, and she absolutely should, because she not only did this to gain attention, but to gain money and for profit. It's absolutely terrible because the situation right now is bad enough as it is. People are scared. ICE agents are scared. ICE agents are out there trying to do their jobs, and people are trying to live their lives. And this just makes everything even worse.
Yeah, and if people think that ICE is kidnapping people, then they will then, perhaps use that as motivation to attack ICE agents. And of course, this creates a doom circle, which could make things just overall much worse. I want to talk to you about this. The Trump administration is reportedly, according to a memo, seeking to deny certain migrant hearings. Now, you have those who are seeing this and saying that the Trump administration is now going to deny hearings for people that generally should have them. It's their right to have. But the Trump administration says that mostly, according to this memo, this has to do with expedited removals, people who are repeat offenders, and those are the people that would be denied these hearings. Where do you see this going legally?
Brian, it's gone way beyond just people subjected to expedited removal. Under current law, those individuals were not eligible for bond in the past. But this new policy, and this has not been a change in the law or the regulations or any new court case that came out directly on point. This is a change in policy by ICE that I've never seen before in doing this almost 20 years, where every single individual who didn't enter the country lawfully with a visa, if they are detained by ICE, ICE's position is, Judge, you cannot give them a bond. It doesn't matter how long they've lived here. It doesn't matter their ties to the community. It doesn't matter if they have zero criminal record. It does not matter. Judge, you cannot let them out of custody once we take them into custody. And it's just totally unprecedented.
Not only unprecedented, does it seem just flat out illegal to you?
I wouldn't say it's necessarily illegal. The administration can interpret the statutes as they want. And we've seen this. I practice in detained settings all the time, and this is already happening. The judges in immigration court aren't quite sure how to deal with it so far, but we're going to be able to take legal actions in some cases, and in some we won't. Elections have consequences. This seems to go way farther than anybody thought it would go. And we'll let this play out in the courts to see if, in fact, they can detain absolutely everybody, because these are situations where you could be in the country for 20 years, have U.S. citizen children here legally working legally and married to U.S. citizens. And if you get picked up by ICE for any reason, you can't get out till your case is over. And that could take many, many months, if not years.
Before we let you go, a judge is expected to make a decision next week on whether or not to release Kilmar Abrego Garcia from criminal custody. What do you think is going to happen?
This is a really tough situation because the administration has already said if this gentleman is released, as soon as he's done with his criminal case, he's going to be detained and deported, hopefully not to El Salvador this time. But the judge in the criminal case has a really difficult situation to try to weigh. If I release him, does he have the incentive to come back to court? Is he going to appear for court? Because that's what detention is for. And so it's a tough situation for the judge. I think they probably will end up keeping him in custody and keep him detained until this case is over. And then ICE will try to deport him again. And
this is a human smuggling case. This is the charges that he is facing. John Gihon, thank you so much for hitting topic by topic expertly as you just did. I appreciate it, John.
My pleasure, Brian.